The Necessity of Positivity and the Power of Earnestness. I had an excellent conversation with the Super Miss S about positivity, about being positive. I had to leave towards the end of the conversation. At the time it seemed that we had covered most of it, but on my drive after that I got to thinking how much hadn't been said. She had started the conversation by asking me if she could ask me a question. This took me aback a bit, as I had thought it would have been somewhat obvious that it would be more than okay by now. But Miss S is very concerned with not being rude or presumptuous, so it was all good. Thinking back on it, I realized that there was more to it than just that. It was an important topic that she wanted to discuss. That was the preamble to it, the lead-in, as it were. She also wanted to make sure that it was understood that it was an important issue, and I'm assuming she wasn't exactly sure how to communicate that. She wanted to make sure to get a full and serious response from me, but didn't want to impose by asking for that directly. Which I understand completely. It's a bit of a conundrum. However, first of all, if you can't impose a bit on your friends, then who can you impose on? Secondly, the question was asked really earnestly. If one is earnestly interested and motivated by something, I think that alone justifies potentially risking imposing on your friends. And that really got me to thinking. I replied that she was welcome any time to ask me anything, and that I liked questions. We had gone on to our conversation. I had not elaborated on why I liked being asked questions, but at the time had noted my reaction. It was somewhat stronger than usual. What makes questions so welcome is that they are a gift. They are a gift of energy. Without that energy that comes with a question, that energy that prompts us to get off our mental backsides and actually think about something, and then to actually articulate it, we usually don't. The desire to be helpful is a tremendous motivator, so being asked, regardless of whether or not we could actually provide an answer, that is totally irrelevant. So being asked gets us thinking and trying and attempting to find an answer. This has always been my position, but then I was thinking, what made Super Miss S's question produce a stronger reaction than usual? It was the earnestness. She had been most earnest in the asking. That earnestness immediately immersed me thoroughly into the topic. Her earnestness was a gift of power. It added juice to the already motivating joy of discussion and discovery that accompanies the exploration of questions. It is always an adventure, no matter how well one may know the answer, or if the answer is being created during the answering. Either way, there is always the challenge of communicating. Fitting our understandings on a point is a particularly exquisite, delicate, and sophisticated challenge. The earnestness made that a breeze. It removed the usual encumbrances that are byproducts of our selfness. We just got right to it. There is the purity to earnestness. Most marvelous indeed. Thank you, Super Miss S. Our conversation about positivity had been mainly focused on positivity being an outflow or consequence of loving people, and because of that, seeing the good in them, about practicing shifting one's perspective to always looking for the good in others. There was more, but I don't remember the details right now. I don't want to forget what I wanted to add. Afterwards, I had thought that the most important reason for always being positive is the necessity for it. Personally, I think that if I wasn't always positive, or at least trying to always be positive, I would be dead. I wish there was a way to build pauses into writing. The above statement deserves one. It seems a bit harsh and melodramatic at first, but it is certainly meant to be neither. It's just true. I think it is true for many others as well. If we aren't positive, why continue living? Really, why bother? Not only that, but if we are honest, or even just more or less so, and if we are in any way good, or even just try to be, or aspire to be, how can we justify being negative? How? The end. Oh well. It will have to do.